Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3, and today I'm going to be giving you part 4 of What If Naruto Was Betrayed by Hagoromo. Remember to get this one to 200 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in social media platform, and also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new series over on Anime King of What If Naruto Was a Direct Descendant to the Sage. And enjoy that guys. And remember, if you're new, to go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying and talking back to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, what do you say begin this new episode? Begin the intro. So, the last spot we left off, Itachi was watching Naruto as Naruto fell off the cliff. To Itachi's surprise though, Naruto received a burst of air from his palm that softened his fall. As we then see it from Naruto's point of view, it all started when he was 5 as he started to gain images. He didn't know what exactly they were, but it was like someone else's thoughts, someone else's vision of something. But in these visions, he saw powerful techniques and he overheard them, and he can also use them. As he heard from the old man about affinities. And to his surprise though, he had all of them. The one that he hasn't used yet was a lightning, because it seemed rather dangerous to use in a place like this, also rather alerting. And Naruto was rather secretive in everything that he did, and he didn't want the Hokage to know about that. With that, Mito made her way into the forest as she tried to find her brother, but she was attacked. As she tried to defend herself, as she saw the giant animal coming towards her, as she fired out chains from her palms, surprising herself as well. As Naruto came there though, and knocked away the thing, as he was surprised to see her chains, as she in the past knew from the hurt that she got, as Naruto was told to come to the council room, but he told the Anpu that he's busy, as he was bringing his sister to get help. Seeing that the matriarch was a healer, Naruto came by the council a bit later, as they were talking about the incident where he broke the people's arms. As Naruto spoke to them rather rudely, if they wouldn't call him by his name, he wouldn't call them with any respect either. As Hiruson, Naruto was always speaking to him, because he always let the council try to take command of the village, which they should not be able to do. As Naruto spoke to the rest of them rather rudely before he get up and leave, as the council members were trying to get the Hokage to make the boy sit down, but Hiruzen told Naruto he can't go. With that, Naruto started to train Mito after showing the Hokage about her chains. As Naruto wanted some more information, by the way, why his sister was hating the village, but he got nothing out of that. Until she told him that her friend Sasuke, yes, his mother, invited them over for dinner, and told her to bring him as well. Well, she was going to bring him anyway, as she begged him to come with her. So Naruto headed there, as he met Mikoto and Fukaku. When Naruto wanted to be charming he can be, as he told the man, and spoke about the Sharingan being one of the greatest dojutsus, until the man got a whisper from another Uchiha as he had to leave. As Naruto went to the roof waiting for Mito as she was talking with Sasuke and Mikoto, as Itachi arrived, he knew that Itachi was there as he told him, why does he keep on watching him? Well, Itachi wasn't so surprised by that. With the things that he saw this 7-year-old boy doing so far, he was rather impressed and intrigued. As Naruto left Itachi with a question and went off. So yeah guys, so it's basically that's where we left off. You guys can switch across the bridge and check it out for yourself. So, what do you say begin this new episode? We begin this episode in the forest of death. It was currently evening time, as loud clashes could be heard. Something was thrown back with such force it connected into a tree, as it was a small body. As the red hair fluttered to the side, it was none other than Naruto Uzumaki as he picked himself up, getting to his feet, As someone rushed towards him with immense speed, he brought his hands up, but the person's feet connected with his hands as his body broke through the tree. This person was quite relentless as he pulled 3 kunas and 3 shurikens and threw the 6 of them at the exact same time. Naruto twisted his body as he landed on both hands. As he maneuvered his body out of the way, but one of the shuriken passed by, scratched him right on the cheek. He wasted no time as he flipped, moving back as he landed, the shurikens embedded into the ground. As he picked 2 of them up as he threw them towards his target. His target moved in such quick precision as he passed through them, moving around them like they were nothing. As he shot towards Naruto, Naruto ducked as the man lashed out with a punch, trying to knock him back. As he twisted his body and lashed out towards the man's side, but the man bent around Naruto with ease. As he kicked Naruto right in the back, knocking him away. Naruto spun while going through handstand before taking a deep breath, as he fired out several wind bullets from his mouth. As he flew towards the man who simply leaped out of the way, with his eyes he was able to see them coming as he flipped and landed. Naruto was about to shot forward once again until the man raised his hand, stopping Naruto in his path, to show that this person was none other than Itachi Uchiha. As he looked at Naruto, he had a small smile on his lips. To the reason why the both of them are currently training in this fast series of, well, dangerous aspects that would be quite dangerous to a 7-year-old. After all, Itachi seemed to be pushing it a bit too hard for someone who was so young. He would never fight as hard as his brother. But when it comes to Naruto, Naruto's a different case entirely. Itachi had kept on watching Naruto to see what he comes out here to do, when one day Naruto got fed up as he attacked Itachi. As Itachi started to fight him back, soft first, but he then come to realize that Naruto was not like his brother at all, where his brother was unable to hurt him not even one bit, because he would simply dance around him with nothing and much ease. Naruto was a lot stronger, probably 10 times stronger than him when he was in the academy, and that was saying something. After all, Itachi was a prodigy. As Itachi knew if Naruto was to go up against the entire academy class, he would beat all of them with ease. The boy was fast and strong. Itachi used his Sharingan to try and see anything that might give him the reason why Naruto was so powerful, but he could not find anything. But something strange was towards the diamonds on his palms. When asked Naruto about it, Naruto told him he had no idea, as Itachi could feel something underneath it though. It was like there was a well of something beneath it, ready to emerge. But his mind, not even his Sharingan, what is said to be the greatest dojutsu in history, could not grasp what exactly it was. It was unnerving and bugging, and his eyes seemed to strain the longer he looks at it, so he just decided to stop it for now. Why did you stop? Naruto asked as he looked towards Itachi. Sorry, I got to go pick up Sasuke from school. As Itachi looked at Naruto with a questioning gaze. Tell me why you're not at school? I'll be starting tomorrow, said Naruto. But Mito is at school, correct? Well, she started 2 days ago, said Naruto. So why didn't the Hokage allow you to go at the same time when Sasuke entered the academy? Do you know of the Yakuza family? Naruto asks. As Itachi narrowed his eyes towards Naruto, of course he knew about the Yakuza family. The Andus were a big part of, well, taking them down. The Yakuza family was a rich family in Konoha. They seemed to stay by themselves, but everyone knew that they were dealing with, well, bad things. But you could never really place anything on them. So, they were always protected. And they were also a big part of the community. They seemed to be in control of the slums of Konoha. Nothing was done without it going through them first. Down in the slums, Itachi looked towards Naruto. Why do you know about them? He asked. Well, let's just say I got into some problem with Kaido, said Naruto. Itachi's eyes narrowed just the slightest, as Kaido was the main head of the Yakuza family. So, you could say that he was literally the boss. Come to think of it now, Itachi hasn't heard a single, well, peep from the Yakuza family, anything at all. The slums have been quite quiet. As Naruto walked over, as he sat down, let's just say I went fishing for some information, but they thought that I was just a little kid, and that I was too nosy, and tried to put the hurt on me to leave. But I guess I accidentally broke one of his man's arms, and then they attacked me. Despite them being a family of, well, known criminals, Itachi looked towards Naruto. I'm not a naive idiot like the other kids, you know that, right? Despite them showing that they are a big part of Konoha populace and that they are invested in the village, I know that they're up to some shady things. So when he sent these guys after me, thinking that it would be easy slaughter, I sent them back with more than a few broken bones. Don't worry, they were alive. But still, things got worse from there. Until a point where... Did you remember that huge, blazing fire in the Yakuza residence near the axe? Itachi had remembered something like that, but there was no official records towards it, to what happened that day. Let's just say it's a secret between the Hokage and me and a few other people. But I started that fire, said Naruto. Itachi stood there listening to what Naruto told him. They were pushing their luck too much, so I decided to smoke them out. But Kaido escaped, and he tried to kill me that night. Despite the man being feared for his dealings, he's quite a sloppy fighter. The Hokage intervened though, and let's just say a few evidence were retrieved out of the flames. Things that got Kaido put away for all the crimes that he did in Konoha. So right now the Yakuza family isn't much, just a few slum dogs here and there. Itachi couldn't believe what he was hearing. Was Naruto basically saying that he, a 7-year-old kid, break up a rather large, you could say mob family inside of Konoha? But still a question came to his mind. You still didn't tell me why you're not at the academy. Mito is today, right? Yeah, but the reason Mito is so focused on that, she wants to become Hokage. I am still training her so she can be as strong as possible and efficient with those. Naruto paused. Say, Itachi, have you ever heard of a ninja that was able to produce chains? I know that you were there that day when I saved my sister, so you must have saw her chains. Have you ever seen an ability like that? I'm sorry, but I can't recall anything like that, said Itachi. You know, sometimes I can't tell if you're lying to me, or you're telling the truth. Your face is quite neutral most of the time. But Naruto simply shrugged as he got to his feet. So what is the reason why you're not at school, asked Itachi. As I said, Mito wants to become Hokage, she has to learn as much as she can. The first day of school is going to be basically introduction and all that. I'd rather skip that touchy part. But you know you're gonna have to go, sooner or later, said Itachi. Yeah, I know that. I'll probably go tomorrow. But why would I be in class when I could be here getting stronger while training with you, said Naruto. As Itachi gave him a blank stare. Don't look at me like that, said Naruto. And don't you dare give me a lecture like what the old man will do. Yeah, information in school is important. I'll deal with it another time, said Naruto. So when are you gonna be available again? For the briefest of seconds, Naruto saw a strange look flash on Itachi's face before it went away. At the moment I don't know, between my duties. Well, I'll inform you when I am, so we can practice again. As he started to turn away, a small smile went on his face. You know, you're quite different from any other kids I've met so far. A lot different from my brother, in many different ways. After all, I couldn't train with him like I'm training with you now. I must say, you will grow up to be a fine, powerful shinobi, Naruto, and I wish you all the well. But for now, goodbye, said Itachi as he started to walk off. Naruto narrowed his eyes. Yeah, see ya, he said, as Itachi then sunshin away. The way Itachi said those words, it sounded like he was going to die or something. As Naruto made his way off. The next day, Mito had complained that Naruto did not come to school with her, as he told her that he would be there soon, but he did not come. Well, she was busy all day though, with her friends, as she was hanging out with Sakura, Ino. Well, there was one problem though. The mutt. He kept on insisting that she should go out with him. They just met each other today. She thought that he was like Sasuke, someone cool and calm, but he wasn't at all. As he liked to brag that he was going to be clan head one day, and how he's already been trained in his family type of fighting. She did not tell her brother about that, because she knew how he would react if he find out that this boy is, well, picking on her. Well, not by much, but he kept on making these comments, and kept on trying to sit near her. And she also wanted Naruto to come to school so her friends can see him, because they thought that he was just a myth. even though Sasuke has, well, grunted. When Ino asked him if Naruto was real, he did not say yes or no. Seeing that they never saw him before, she really wanted them to see him. So right now she was currently in class. As she was pouted, he told her that he would be right back this morning when he went off. But he did not show up. She swore to herself if he didn't come today and she went home and she saw him at home, she was gonna punch him. Yes, very hard. Might even use her chains. She clenched her fist as she made up her mind. Aruka then walked in the classroom. "Alright everyone, settle down," he said. As she was sitting next to her friend, Ino, and Sakura on the other side. She didn't know what it was, but both girls seemed to be crazy over Sasuke. Well, he was cool and everything, but she didn't see it. She didn't see him that way. He was a friend to her. Well, you could use those terms loosely, but she didn't see him in that way, like a boy to date her or something like that. Well, she wasn't ready for anything like that yet, which Ino kept on waving over her head that she was more developed than her, just because she wasn't ready to date yet. Aruka looked her in the class, holding a clip book, as everyone was here but Mito, I thought you said that your brother would be coming today. As all eyes turned towards her. Well, Aruka-sensei, it's just that, a sound could be heard as the door slid open, as everyone stopped and turned their head. As Aruka turned towards the small boy at the door, red hair covering his eyes, before he swept away from his face, combing it back. As Mito smiled, "There he is," she said. Ino turned her head, as her eyes locked with Naruto, as she looked him up and then down. He was wearing a blue dark pants with a white shirt with a swirl on the back and on the front, as he was wearing dark blue fingerless gloves along with black boots. As Ino turned towards Mito, so she really did have a big brother. He wasn't made up, and he was quite cute. "Ah, you must be Naruto Uzumaki." "Yes," said Naruto. As Aruka looked towards him, "May I ask, why didn't you show up to school yesterday when your sister did?" "May I ask you a question?" said Naruto. "Sure," said Aruka. "What did you do yesterday?" Naruto asked, other than getting to know each other. As the way the boy spoke, for some reason, it aggravated Aruka as he looked towards Naruto. "Frankly, I don't really care about anyone in here, so why would I want to know them?" said Naruto, as he looked around the classroom, as Mito was glaring at him to stop it. He simply shrugged as he started to walk off, before Aruka placed a hand on his shoulder, stopping him as Naruto turned towards him. "You know, that kind of attitude is not very good. After all, I'm gonna be teaching you all about teamwork. And teamwork's a big part of this ninja world. So you better get your attitude straight." "Are you gonna let me go?" Naruto asked. Aruka scowled at the boy. "Just go find your seat," he said, as Naruto simply walked off, as Sasuke was glaring at him. Sasuke knew that this boy was getting rather close to his brother. Whenever they come by the house, the both of them talk. And they also made their way off, saying that Sasuke gonna come, as his brother always told him maybe next time. As he cursed in his mind, he was not gonna take his brother away from him. He didn't have a problem with Mito. She was normal, but this, Naruto, he was just so arrogant. As he scolded at Naruto as Naruto walked past him, Naruto made his way as he sat down, next to a boy with a pineapple hair, and another fat one beside him. As the boy with pineapple hair was laying his head on the table, as Naruto leaned back in his chair, as Mito glanced towards him, as she had that glare set on her face, glaring at him for what he said to the teacher. He was already causing a problem, but Naruto simply shrugged, as he then gave her a smile. She sighed as she put on a small smile, before she gave him another harsh glare, before she returned back looking at the board. The boy then tilted his head over to Naruto. "You know, pissing off the teacher at the first day, that would put you in a real troublesome situation. After all, it will draw more attention to you." "Like I said," said Naruto, "I don't really care for anyone in here." "Well, that's a good attitude you can have, if you don't want to be rather troublesome," said Shikamaru. "By the way, the name is Shikamaru Nara." Well, you already heard my name, said Naruto, as he leaned back. Time skip. As the day went by, Naruto became rather irritated because this was just a waste of his time, as none of this information was really important, talking about teamwork, the importance of to go off in the future, and the history of Konoha. Why should he give a damn about that? Who was going to come up to him one day and ask him about the history of Konoha? And even if they wanted, go and find it from someone else. So this entire day was a simply big waste of time. He could be out getting stronger right now, but no, he's in here wasting his time. As the day finally came up to an end, as Naruto was still sitting down in his chair, as Haruka had packed up and told all of them they could leave, as Mito was picking up her books and packing them away, as her friend was there with her, the blonde hair one, and that other one with the pink hair. As Naruto was paying none of them any attention, the pineapple hair boy seemed to be sleeping, but Naruto wasn't going to wake him. But his fat friend beside him suddenly nudged him. Hey, Shikamaru, it's time to go. As Naruto picked himself up, it was then that Kiba made his way over. So ladies, leaving already, he said. Kiba, how many times do we have to tell you? No, said Ino. As Kiba sighed, and how many times do I have to tell you? I'm not talking to you. Well, do you think these girls are gonna talk to you? Come on, Kiba. There's a lot of hot guys in the class, and you're not even close to being one of the hottest. I mean, just look at Sasuke. Not to mention, look at Mito's brother. A big deal, said Kiba. He doesn't look like anything special to me. For one thing, he seemed rather lazy, just like the Nara. Troublesome, Shikamaru muttered, but he did not say anything out loud, as he just refused to pay that any attention. Hey, watch your mouth when talking about my brother, said Mito, as she looked towards Shikamaru. Huh? Feisty, he said. You know, I like my girls feisty. We were talking yesterday, but you didn't give me a straight answer. So you want to be my girlfriend, he asked. Like Ino said. No, she said to him. She was about to walk away, but he placed his hand on the desk, stopping her path. You know, people like you shouldn't be so jumpy. After all, we all heard things, you know. We all heard people saying that they should stay away from you and all that. But these two here seem like they want to be your friend. Kiba, stop it, said Ino. But he simply smiled as he kept on going. So, when someone like me, someone from a proud, distinguished clan, like the Inuzakas, asks you out, you should be literally groveling at my feet. After all, soon enough I'm gonna be clan head. And it's not like you're from a clan, Mito Uzumaki, he said. So you should be well respected to me. Shut it, Kiba, said Sakura, as she glared at Kiba. No one's talking to you, loudmouth man, she said. Kiba. What did you say? Said Sakura, as she tightened her fists. This whole interaction was being watched by Sasuke, as he looked over towards Naruto, forgetting that he was in the class because he hadn't said anything yet. As Mito had her head down, as she wasn't saying anything, her eyes widened as she looked up. But it was too late. Meanwhile, outside, as Haruka was standing there with Mizuki, as he was waiting for all the kids to leave so he can lock up things. Suddenly, crash! Something breaks through the window and fell right into the yard. As Haruka rushed forward, wondering what the hell was going on. As Haruka came around the corner with Mizuki, as the both of them narrowed their eyes when they saw Naruto standing over Kiba Inuzaka. Kiba was currently on the ground, as glass was everywhere as he was looking up at Naruto. As Naruto gave him a smile that seemed rather chilling. The next time you run your mouth like that around my sister, I'm gonna hurt you even worse. Put you in physical danger. Or perhaps, you know I know that every Inuzakas get a puppy. It seems like you don't have one yet, said Naruto as he looked around. So, keep running your mouth. And if you talk about this, I'll kill your dog. Kiba felt his heart sink. He didn't know what it was. He wasn't usually scared of anyone in his class. Inuzakas were proud. Inuzakas were always like, well, dogs, when you could call it that. They were ravish. They were enraged most times. But to find himself unable to speak or unable to do anything against his boy, and he was not even touching him, Kiba felt His first true feeling of fear from someone else other than his mother and his sister, as he could only dumbly nod. When Haruka and Mizuki made their way over, they felt a strange presence vanish. Something that was weighing down on everything. "Kiba, Naruto, what happened?" asked Haruka. Naruto reached forward as Kiba thought that he was going to attack him again, as he closed his eyes the slightest. But Naruto picked up a small ball beside Kiba. Kiba narrowed his eyes. Where the hell did that came from? "Oh, you see, I was playing fetch with him, and he ended up running right in the window. It's a rather stupid mistake on his part, but he's okay, isn't he?" As Naruto grabbed Kiba by the arm and helped him up. "You okay, aren't you?" Kiba nodded. "Kiba, is that what happened?" asked Haruka. "Yes, Sensei," said Kiba. As Mizuki narrowed his eyes. That wasn't a full story and he could tell, as he looked towards the others, but they all glanced away. As Mito narrowed her eyes, as she waited until Mizuki looked away. "Come on, he's fine now. It was just a little accident," said Naruto. "Yeah, just a little accident," said Kiba. He didn't know what that feeling a moment ago was. That presence that just seemed to weigh down on him. And he didn't want to feel it again. Despite his nature and the way he acted, he was still just a kid. Yes, and at the moment he was currently scared, so he said nothing about what happened. Time skip. Mito was rather silent going home, as she hadn't said anything to Naruto. As Naruto hadn't said anything either, he knew that she was a bit upset by what he did. Well, that kid run his mouth too much. "Look, I know you're upset, but at least talk to me," said Naruto. "It's not that, brother," she said. As she sighed, "Well, it is, with a few other things. I know you love me and always want to protect me, but you can't just go around hurting people like that." I know what Kiba said. It pissed me off as well, and I was also angry. But he's just a kid. You're always saying that you're above this, and you're not just a little kid, like all of us. So, don't do anything so rash, okay? If it comes to it, you know I would do anything to protect you, said Naruto. I know that, but just be my big brother. The one that protects me and the one that also has compassion for others. So, can you do that, she asks. For me? He reached forward as he ruffled her hair. Alright, fine. I guess he was just a little kid. Arrogant. Stupid little kid. As Mito nodded and smiled. So next time go easy on them, okay? I'm not saying for you to do it again. Just go easy. As Naruto nodded. Time skip. The time flew by rather quickly. Going to school, coming back from school, learning about other things about the academy. As 1 year passed by rather quickly. As Naruto had found it rather strange, Itachi had been rather distant. Him and Mito was now 8 years old. The both of them still wore the necklace that they gave each other on their 7th birthday. And for the fact when it came to Naruto and Itachi hasn't been showing up at the training ground anymore. And Naruto found that rather strange. When he spoke to Sasuke about it, despite Sasuke not really liking Naruto that much. He didn't really hate him. But Sasuke was having the same thing as his brother, was not showing up so much anymore. And he was acting rather strange. Well, he supposed it has to do with his friend's death. Uchiha had died. Shisui Uchiha. He supposed Itachi was still mourning about Shisui's death. But he wanted to be there for his brother, but he couldn't because his brother was not there. But still, he was just going to have to wait, as he spoke to his mother about it. And his mother told him the same thing, that he was just going to have to wait. So that is exactly what he's going to do, wait. So currently at the moment, Naruto was just going home, as he was currently late in the night. The reason why he was so late was because of two things. Well, one of them being detention. Given the person who he was, Naruto would not go, but Haruka and Mizuki had stayed with him in the class to ensure that he would not escape. And he knew that forcing himself out would just cause some problems, so he decided to stay back. The reason for this is, Naruto was picking fights with older academy members. Well, things started and Naruto ended them in a rather painful matter. Mito said he should leave the kids in the class, while the other kids when they got in his way. Yes, even though they were older, they stood no chance. But Naruto decided not to go straight home, as he's been having some more memories, so he decided to test out a few things. So he went to the training ground doing a few practice here and there. So he was currently late right now. He had told Mito to go home and sleep, as she should not wait on him because she wanted to wait, but he told her to go home. As Naruto was making his way, as he was taking the long way around, he had a lot to think about. More memories are fluctuating, but that was not the thing that was troubling him at the moment. Recently, in his dreams, he has been having, well, he didn't know exactly what it was. But it wasn't a dream. It was like a physical manifestation of his, well, subconscious. Something about it, he didn't even know where he learned that word. He didn't write in a book or anything like that. And recently words have been popping up into his head, like mating. He's been talking a rather cruel language, like something that hasn't been used in a very, very long time. Calling things by different names, remembering things that he should not remember. And they were coming in slow patches though. But he was hearing someone reaching out to him. And the person ever used one single word, unite. He didn't understand what that meant. The person was always calling out to unite with him. That was beginning to tick him off a bit, because it was messing with his head, and he didn't know if he was going crazy or not. But at least he was learning new powers, new techniques from the visions. But still, he wanted to know what the hell was going on. But he hasn't talked to the Hokage about it. The reason being, he would have to explain the entire situation of learning new abilities. And knowing the Hokage, he would want to learn and give Naruto a basic, well, psychiatric treatment. And Naruto wasn't up for that. So that's the reason why he hasn't told the old man anything about it yet. As he wanted to clear his mind before he got home. So he was walking the long way. That meant passing by the Uchiha compound. And recently his senses has been getting a lot stronger. Hearing things, without even adding chakra to his ears. If the people in the academy know about this, they would want to, well, make him become a shinobi. But he didn't want to leave his sister behind. So for that, Naruto hardly paid attention in class, and he hardly did schoolwork. Despite being one of the strongest, which none of them could match, Naruto was basically dead last of the class. The old man was rather talkative when the two of them were just there. Talking about the academy, the man spoke about things that Naruto was new to. So Naruto found out that the dead last, the top kunoichi, and the top student were put on one team to balance it out. And he was going to ensure that his sister was the top kunoichi. She was already ridiculously strong. The only person that might give her a chance in the class when it comes to studies were Sakura. She was rather smart as well. And as for fighting, that Hyuga girl, no, she was too shy. The girl could fight and Naruto could feel it, he didn't know why. And for some reason though, he hated her eyes. That was something strange about him. Thinking about the Byakugan, it gave him images of someone he did not know. Someone with the Byakugan, but theirs were much whiter. Her eyes were lavender, but their eyes were white, and their skin seemed to be a rather pale white as well. It was just brief flashes, and it irritated him every time he saw her eyes. So he tried not to focus on them. As he was making his way, he stopped. He knew that it was late, but he did not hear anything at all. Sasuke was rather late as well. The boy seemed to have went off practicing in the woods. Seeing that Naruto was strong, it brought out a bit of jealousy in him, as he wanted to become strong as well. He had already showed his father that he was able to perform the fire style jutsu, but his father didn't seem happy, like when he was with Itachi. As Naruto was making his way, something was definitely wrong. He heard nothing from the Uchiha compound. Usually, people were walking around and the guards at the gate. As he heard nothing at all, dead silence. He then noticed something. No, more like smelled it, a stench. As he took in a good whiff, it was blood. As Naruto followed his nose, as he entered the Uchiha compound, as he realized the gate was even unlocked, as he made his way inside looking around. Despite the things that Naruto has done, hurting people, broken bones, he has never killed anyone before. The sight in front of him though, for some strange reason, it did not bother him, as the place was littered with bodies. Yes, he saw bodies all around, blood splattered everywhere, innocent civilians. And it did not bother him. As he started to walk through the bodies, something clicked in his mind though. Mikoto. The only one that he really cared about in the Uchiha compound. Well, you could say Itachi as well. Well, he was a good trading partner. As his sister, really came to care for the woman as well. As the woman was trying to be like a mother figure to his sister. Something that he appreciated. Her going out of her time to do that. As she was always being nice to him every chance she got. So with that, Naruto took off in a brisk run. It didn't take him too long. As he made his way, he rushed inside the house to see Fukaku and Mikoto lying there. Blood splattering all over them. He didn't have to go close to know that they were dead. As he stepped back, he then heard screaming as he quickly made his way outside. This was not someone being slaughtered. It was someone with rage. As Naruto made his way just in time, see Sasuke collapse on the ground, unconscious. But the person we saw there surprised him a lot. Itachi? As Itachi stood there, blood caked over his hand, as he had his tanto in his hand, dressed in his envoy uniform. Naruto. Itachi never expected to see Naruto here. He wasn't supposed to see this. As he gulped. He wasn't supposed to see this yet. He wanted to do this without Naruto knowing anything or even speaking to him at the moment. Despite not being in his age group, Naruto was quite smart and wise when it comes to other people. And he was enjoying his practice with his little friend. But note all of that was coming to an end. Oh. So this is the reason why you were so distant, said Naruto, as he chuckled. But there was no humor in his tone. As Itachi looked at him. Huh. Let me guess, you woke up one night and say, what would happen if I kill my entire clan? Oh, let me try and find out. Smart, Itachi. Kill off everyone in your clan but leaving Sasuke alive. As Naruto started to walk forward, kunais were on the ground everywhere, from Itachi embedding them in people's skull as well, slicing out people's throats. But Naruto was confused though. Itachi, I know you're strong, but how were you able to pull this off? I mean, those guys with the police force, they're quite strong as well. Elite Uchihas, and even your father. Given the things that I've heard about him, he's supposed to be stronger than you. Itachi's eyes mulf as he changed to something else. You knew about my Sharingan, Naruto, but you never knew about this. This is the Mangita Sharingan, and with this, I am a literal god. That is why I was able to slaughter my entire clan. Oh, said Naruto in a rather nonchalant tone. And why exactly, he asked. To test my abilities, said Itachi. Huh? So you're telling me all this time I was fighting a psychopath, said Naruto, as he started to nerd his eyes around. So you did all of this to test your abilities, leaving Sasuke an orphan now because I'm guessing that you're gonna run away from the village. After all, can't stay here now. You'll probably be trialed and killed. Still, to believe that those eyes are so powerful you were able to go up against the entire Uchiha clan. Especially the police force and your father, unless he made you kill him. As Naruto stopped joking around as he got rather serious. You know, your mother, she was really good. Raising you for so many years, only to be slaughtered by her own son, raising her other son, only to die before she can see him grow up. She even come to see my sister as some kind of a daughter figure to her. And my sister really liked her company. And even I was getting warm up to her. But there you had to go and kill her, said Naruto, to test your damn abilities. So it was a, well, hypothesis then. It was right. I was trained with a psychopath. I'm afraid this conversation is over, Naruto. I know that you have seen what I've done. What? You gonna kill me? Said Naruto, as he looked towards Itachi. Naruto picked up one of the kunais. What if I kill you first? Itachi narrowed his eyes at Naruto, but not saying anything. I don't know what it is, but something is going on here, something I don't understand. Naruto made his way over and picked Sasuke up by the back of his shirt. As Itachi narrowed his eyes. This boy is gonna be an orphan and suffer and go through all sorts of pain for what you did. I might as well end him right now, as Naruto pulled back his hand. The kunai was knocked away from him by a shuriken. Now I'm confused, said Naruto, as he did not look at Itachi, who was a few feet away from him now. You saved Sasuke, but yet, you kill everyone else. I guess you were right when you said I was a psychopath. The only reason I kept him alive is because I wanted to grow stronger, so he can hunt me down and one day give me a good fight. That is the only reason why he's alive. So, I suggest you put him down. So you keep him alive to torment him, for him to one day hunt you down and kill you. But wouldn't it be better if I just snapped his neck right here? If he dies, he wouldn't have to go through all of that. The pain and suffering that you're putting him through now. Are you really that heartless, Itachi, Naruto asks? As you said yourself, I'm a psychopath. Naruto released Sasuke as Sasuke dropped back down to the ground. You know something, Itachi. Despite what you have done here, I know that Mikoto was a good person and all. But a part of me, it seems I'm a psychopath as well, because I really don't care. Itachi said nothing at that. By the time Naruto turned around, Itachi was back on the roof. So, not gonna kill me, Naruto asks. I'm afraid you're much more too important for that, Naruto. Because one day you will be coming after me as well, for us to fight. And I want to see that day when you become quite skillful to take me on. Fight you? Why would I want to fight you? This isn't my clan, said Naruto. So what now? Going on the run? As Itachi did not say anything. Well, have yourself a good life. Don't worry, I'll make sure that Sasuke doesn't die. I also want to see him kill you as well. For a reason though, that's exciting. Seeing after the crap you put him through, I'm gonna enjoy that day when he hunts you down and kill you. Well, if that is a reason, make sure you protect my little brother. After all, you're strong enough. Goodbye, Naruto Uzumaki. Until we meet again, said Itachi. And with that he flashed away Natsu's chin. As Naruto stood there, what the hell is wrong with me, he thought to himself. Despite seeing this scene in front of him, there was a part of him in his mind that didn't really care about anything. He knew how kind Mikoto was being. He knew how good she was being to him and his sister, but he didn't really care about her. Why was that? His sister, yes, he cared about her, she was his family. But for Mikoto, that kind woman that got slaughtered by her own son, he didn't really care. Did he hate humanity or everything? As he didn't know why. Meanwhile, inside of the seal, laughter could be heard. But this was not laughter of happiness. It was laughter of rage. As Naruto Uzumaki was standing on edge, he had vague images of what Naruto was experiencing outside, what was going on, and he just saw the entire clan wiped out that he promised Hagoromo that he would slaughter. So seeing them now dead, it made him furious. The heavens crackled, the earth split open, the trees were teared from their roots, as his powers fluctuated. If this was to be shown on the outside world, it would cause a natural disaster. As he slammed his fist on the barrier, as a crack mark spread out from his face, but it was barely noticeable. This barrier was getting weaker, but it was still not accelerating at the process that he wanted. He wanted to regain his sanity, his mind. He wanted to be Naruto Uzumaki again, to stand on top of everyone, to be the god that he was supposed to be, not this weak little kid. Even though in the stage he's stronger than every other kid, that still doesn't mean much to him. He was a god that could trample mountains, he could create new life, he could do all sort of things. But now, look at him resorting to this. Hagoromo! Hamura! As he screamed in rage and agony. Back outside, Naruto did not notice it though, but his eyes were fluctuating and changing. But they returned back to normal. Something was coming. As he turned his head, it was then that he saw something strange. There was a man standing right there. He was wearing a strange mask, a black cloak. He was just looking at the chaos around him. So this person, this must be the one that helped Itachi. Knowing how strong Itachi is, Naruto did not care. He believed that he was the one that murdered the entire clan. He must have had help. The police force, they were strong, and Itachi could not kill all of them by himself, despite having that new Mangekyo Sharingan, what he called it. The man looked over at Naruto as Naruto looked right back at him. As Naruto felt something strange before his eyes noticed something in that small peephole. There was a Sharingan looking back at him. The man did not say anything though, and with that he was gone, like he was never there. In an instant, envoys started to flood the place, along with the Hokage as well, as he had a dreadful look on his face. He looked to be in a rather bad mood, as he looked towards Naruto. You know, from a standpoint, it looks like I was the one that killed the entire clan, said Naruto, as all the envoys stiffened a bit as he looked at him. As Hiruzen could only sigh. He knew that Naruto wasn't behind this, but what was he doing here? Meanwhile, all of that was going on. It was a black creature at the edge of the Fire Nation. It had been searching for 8 years now for the beam that had sparkled the world that night. On that night when Naruto was born, this creature, half plant, seemed to be a phoenix fly trap, as it was two of them, black and white, the black one being Zetsu, which was originally from Kaguya herself, her will. With passed on her will, Kaguya implanted many things into Zetsu, many things that he knew right now about her other son. His name was Naruto Osusuke, but he was in a coma. Zetsu was there that day. He was a far distance away though, because he didn't want to be sensed by Hagoromo or Hamura, or Naruto, because he didn't know which side he was on. But when he saw the battle, he couldn't intervene, as it was too late and Naruto was sealed away. But that seal, he could never find that box, as the thing was kept away from him and he couldn't go near Hagoromo. The man would sense him and destroy him if he ever sensed that he was a creation of his mother. So he kept his distance, and as the year flew by, the seal, the box, it went out of his grasp, and he did not know where it is. But that night, 8 years ago, he felt it. That power that only belonged to the demigods that were fighting back then re-emerge. He felt the stir in the natural atmosphere, and now he was looking for it. And he will find it no matter what. But guys, be in subscribe right here if you want the next part of this or to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. Remember to share to all of your friends in your social media platform. And yeah guys, go ahead and check out the brand new series, What If Naruto Was the Direct Descendants of the Sage? And enjoy that guys. But for now, I'm out of here. See you guys soon. Peace.